Hey everybody, it is Elsa932 on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining me. We are here for episodes 3 and 4. Please make sure you do like the video, share, and subscribe to the channel. Leave comments below because I love to, enjoy your comments. So let's start it off like where we left off. Sylvio and Revo. So, she says, my love. She sounds like she's hesitating to say yes. She says, you are so fantastic. Put that ring on me before I change my mind. I was like, ooh, okay. She says, hurry, hurry. But she says it's not as romantic as she wanted it. Young lady, you don't sound as romantic as you want it. So there's no kiss. She is worried about the reveal. And hey, she wanted a George Clooney type. She does see he has a little belly, but he is sweet and easy to hit with her nunchucks. And I'm like, girl, do you want a husband or do you just want a weight bag? But then, y'all, they do kiss. It was all over the mouth, y'all. Sloppy, sloppy, sloppy. Then he says, they need to fine tune that kiss. So he was not thrilled. She thinks he's a sexy man. And I'm like, there is a rocky road ahead for these two. So we meet Mario Roberto, who's 50. He's dating Lucelma, 51. He has kids, 2 girls. She says that she has 3 girls. The 14-year-old still lives with her, but she has 32 and 27. He says that's a lot. She says, hey, she can handle that and a lot more. So her last relationship, it was not amazing. She told us that she has survived DV. She's been cheated on. And she has dreams of a wedding because she's never had it. So she definitely is a survivor in my mind. And I wonder, how is she so open to this? I applaud her for that. So he tells us he's the admin for a fighting academy. And he's also in advertising. His new love is here somewhere in the pods. And what is his will come to him. I'm like, dude, can we get up and go find our love? Could we do that? He says, if you have to explain it that it's not love, it's passion. I was like, okay. Then he says, what does she want in a partner? She wants honesty above all else. And he says, hey, maturity has no room for dishonesty. And he likes her energy. So we keep seeing them dating. Okay, so we see the next date. He remembers she's from the north. She loves that. He said he worked too much in his last relationship. He left empty holes there and, there was so much fighting. And I'm like, So what kind of fighting? What kind of fighting? Are we yelling? Because she needs to say something about that. And I didn't hear it, and I'm hoping editing put it to the side. So she asked, will you give me your phone passwords and everything when we're married? Will you want mine? He says no to both. He says trust has a starting point, and along that path is security. He's like, as long as you respect yourself, then he will respect her and there will be trust from the partner. He really does like her and she wants to move forward with him. In the women's lounge, she yells out his name. And I'm like, girl, what are you doing? And she's warning all the other ladies, he's mine. Okay. Then we meet Aida and Ed. He is 65. Ed said he is there waiting for her. And he tells us that he's 180 pounds of muscle and 110 of those are lips. You can't pass him up. You can't pass him by. He says you need to dive in and enjoy every relationship while it lasts. And I'm like, Ed, are you a revolving door? What do you mean enjoy it while it lasts? I understand what you're saying, but the way you're saying it, like, if it lasts a day, I'm going to enjoy it. And if it lasts 20 years, I'm going to enjoy it. It doesn't seem like a lot. So she says her job is to bring people to the theater. He does work in production with music and theater. Her ideal man is intelligent and sensitive. And the friendship has to be the core of the relationship. He says he has 2 kids that are 34 years old and not twins. I was like, girl, did you hear that? She says, I'm doing the math. He says they were born in the same year, one in March and one in July. But they were not born of marriage. Neither of them. Well, I would hope so, because then we got to add adultery to your list, sir. She says, she, was not a part of his past life, but it's okay. But she know he was up to no good then. She does have 3 kids, okay? The 35-year-old, the eldest, was born of her, and she adopted 2 kids. 23-year-old trans girl and a gay young man who's 18. She met them when she was doing a project and decided to adopt them. I wonder how old they were, because I'm wondering if she adopted them as teens or younger children. She talks of her indigenous heritage from Paraguay, where her parents are from. And I'm like, girl, that's talking about your looks. That's talking about your looks. Why are we doing this? So they both want to keep talking to each other. We see Luciano and Mario, it's now or never. She does read something to him. He said he is, the one for her, and she asks him, does he want to marry her? And there's a pause. Mario says, yes, I do. He wants to meet and go the whole way with her. She tells him her engagement gift is there in the chest in his room, and his fuzzy handcuffs. He says he does like her naughty side. Then we come with the reveal. She thinks they will have an instant connection at first sight. He believes in the connection and loves her seduction and her connection with family. The doors open. He barely smiles. He slow walks like, I've got to go here because I won't get fined. She is grinning and walks proud. She grabs his head. She gives him a kiss. She is putting her hands in his hair and pulling his hair. And he barely has his hands touching her side. I'm like, read the room, Luciana, please. Please read the room. He's not enthusiastic into this kid. Please read the room. She said, it's so nice. It's so great to just hug. He's like, how are you? He finally speaks, and the first thing he says is, how are you? She hands him the rings and tells him, this is your decision now. And I was like, girl, way to flip the table. I hope it meant you were reading the room. Because she said, the ball is in your court. I got us here. You got to take us the rest of the way. He sits there with her. He opens the box with the rings. And then he says, will you be okay? I know there was a lot more said. But this is an edited show, y'all. She says, yeah, of course. I've only known you for 10 days. Who does he think he is? She says, the person to make her feel bad has not been born. I like that, girl. I like that. You should put that on a t-shirt. They kiss cheeks and say goodbye. Now he walks out. He don't just walk out, y'all. He walk all the way out. He didn't even stop at the doors like they're supposed to and allow the doors to close. He walks all the way out. She says he could have been a gentleman. He could have walked her to a door. The first time, that a man has ever run from her like this. She will go back to her life. She will keep looking for love. He says he did not have the same feelings as when they were talking. It has faded. She's pretty and nice, but it's not enough. See, this is what we've been saying before. Some of y'all is love blind. It ain't. Again, she's of a plus size delegation. And I think that's what he was not wanting. Now, Maria Luisa tells us that he walked away and didn't even look back. And he just lost a great woman. I believe that because they were talking all hot and heavy. This is what happened when y'all are all hot and heavy. So Aida and Ed, he lives by himself. She says, can we both keep our own space? He likes that, y'all. He likes that they can keep their own space. She says she's learned that couples, do live in 2 separate houses and they can keep the relationship great. She says she has younger children and she does need help with them sometimes. Well, then he got to live with you, girl. Y'all got to live together in order for him to be able to help you. He said the point is to help each other. They are forming a family from the ones they already have, and they are all going to be woven together. Well said, sir. Well said. But you ain't going to be living in the house. He says it's romance and there's seduction, that's being done, and he likes where this is going. In the woman's lounge, she tells the lady about the whole date. All about Ed. And I'm like, girl, hush. But Ed gives her hope, and there are good people out there. She just loves this. Hush. We see another date. He says he chooses her. She is his priority. She's like, yes, I choose you too. He said they can improvise on doing things interesting to keep, You know, their love life spicy. They can go to a hotel, have smecks in public, get caught by the cops. And she's like, yeah, we can go have dinner. And I'm like, girl, that sounds boring. Until she says, but you know what? I could forget my undergarments because, you know, I can be forgetful at sometimes. He gets so excited. Ed is just so excited. And she likes that he is open about talking about this. Next, we see Mario Roberto and Lucelma. I'm going to call her Lou because I don't want to mispronounce her name. They do talk religion. She does talk about God, that she is not a practicing evangelical. He, you know, sees religion as connecting people. He has many different religions. His sister, his brother, his mother, they have different religion. And he is Candomblé. He's a Candomblé follower. She says, hey, she has no problem with that because her best friend is too. Now, when I looked it up, Candomblé is an Afro-Brazilian religion rooted in West African traditions, particularly the Yoruba religion. So that kind of gives us a feel for it. So her mother is not open to new things, she says, and she will be judged, but she's okay with that. So she chose him from the first day, is what Lou tells Mario Roberto. Now, they have another date. He sends her a gift in the chest. It is a different style. He said he is a non-traditional guy. He gave her a jaguar pendant. It looks like it was carved out of wood and well polished and painted. It looked beautiful, but I couldn't see a whole thing, or else I had a picture for y'all. Does that make me your choice? He said, yes, you are. So she asked if he wears skirt-like clothes. He said, no, but I wear a tachaya. Now, tachaya pants, I learned, is a term for a type of traditional West African loose-fitting trouser. Now, some of them may look like the Hammer Time pants, but it's just a loose trouser that is kind of, you know, free and open for men to walk very casually in it. She says she has no idea what that is, and she's scared of his style. They do talk about dancing. He does like to dance and move his bootay, he said. He lives in the gym. And I was like, oh, okay, he's always in the gym. He's, you know, like a gym rat or whatever. No, he lives in the gym. He said the pandemic threw him a curveball, and it won't be for long, he hopes. He asked if she's okay with this, and she says she's thinking. She has not been with someone like him, with no house and no car. Lou, I hope you are not going to be with someone like him. Please, Lou, I cannot have an over 50 woman doing the same thing these young girls are doing. Please, Lou. So she says it's possible that her mom will not want to meet him because he will be her fourth husband. Her parents already said that they will not meet anyone else. I said, Lou, who have you been bringing around your parents? Now here you go with the guy living in the gym. Lou, please, Lou, come on now. Come on. I just can't. I can't with you, Lou. I really can't. I really can't, Lou. Oh, jeez Louise. I know why your parents don't want nobody to come. So he understands that older folks are conservative, but he will not change how he dresses or who he is. I applaud you for that, Mario Roberto. I applaud you, okay? But dude, come on. So Maria Luisa, our resident narrator, tells us that there's a religious difference between Lou and Mario Roberto. So how can this work? So Lou says he's holding back because he's not feeling safe. Is it because of his finances? But she tells him that it's not a big deal for her. She has a home, an apartment, and she wants to make it work with him. Mario Roberto says he thinks that he could be in love with her because her essence is just so awesome. Now, Aida and Ed, she feels the urge to just feel him and smell him, so she sent him a gift, a fuzzy heart, and it had her perfume on it, and it had a card. He said he is 65 and has never gotten married. And she finds that so special because it's like he waited for her. Delulu, land of Delulu, you are missing a citizen called Ada. I'm sorry. He is 65, unmarried. He's the same one that has 2 kids, the same age, and not twins. I'm just telling you, Ida, you in the land of Delulu. So he thanks her for such, a kind thing. He never expected these feelings coming out with this show. In the men's lounge, he shows off his heart-shaped gift. He is so happy. And we continue with Ida and Ed. And, he says, "Are you ready for the wedding night?" So she asked, "Do my looks matter?" He said no, because, she's a daughter of Paraguay. He figures that she may look like the indigenous folks of there. He said he's not expecting Giselle at their age. He doesn't want too skinny and he doesn't want too big. She says he sounded like he was critical of fat people. And I did not hear that. But again, it could be that it was edited out. I did not hear much of that critical stuff. So I'm guessing the show is trying to, part of the plus size delegation, trying to save our feelings. Okay? So she said she once dated a man close to 300 pounds. I said, Ada. Okay. Ed said, "And you handled all that? You must be small then." She said she appreciates his honesty. So I know they spliced and diced this, but I'm like, 300 pounds. Okay. So he thinks that they will have he'll have a good time until the doors open. So he's thinking, Ed, I'm looking at you sideways. Ed, he's going to have a good time. He's just going to chill until the doors open and then make a decision from there. So we have another date where he learned, a word in her native language, rohaiho. And I was like, what? But that means I like you or I love you, Ada says. And he says, I'm going to choose I love you. And I'm like, I apologize if I said it incorrectly. He said a gift in the chest, a book with a poem in it for her. She loved it. And then we're told this is the 10th day of the experiment. Mario, Roberto, and Lou, she sent him 4 gifts. This is the man living in a gym. She sends him 4 gifts. Did we see him send her a gift? No, not a gift yet. He has production at his disposal and he has not sent a gift. Sir, I'm watching you. The first gift is a t-shirt about changing the world. I didn't even bother to write what the words were on the t-shirt because I was so upset. She sent him 4 gifts. Now, it ain't just him. She brought 4 gifts for any of the men. Lady, you need to stop at 1. Then a necklace with the L on it, that's for her name. Underwear and a garter. Okay? I'm like, girl, you're doing too much. Then a kitchen towel that's talking about, life is a family, a house, and hearts. Okay, he has a family. He don't have house, but he has a heart. She proposes to him. I said no. But again, we have to see Brazilian culture. The woman can propose, okay? Equal opportunity. But I was not feeling it. He said he wants to really want to. But, he was getting ready to propose. And he said, here it is very touching. But he said yes. He said, yes, I really want to. I said, dude, that hesitation told me you should have said no. In a women's lounge, though, she's going in and yelling out she is engaged. I'm happy for her. In the men's lounge, he said he's happy, but he can't cry. And he knows it's never too late to love. In the reveal for Mario, Roberto, and Lou, okay, she wants to find some, that love is magical, physical appearance does not matter. He is anxious and has butterflies, okay? Y'all know how I feel about butterflies. Y'all know how I feel about these daggone butterflies. It is telling you to run, okay, Mario, Roberto? So they're both hesitant and breathing hard. He said he's not scared. Touch and smell is what got to him. And she's like, oh my God, is this all mine? She proposes again. And she wants him to sound more excited. And she asks him like 2-3 times. I said, Lou, leave that man alone. She puts a ring on his finger and kisses his finger. And he does the same. No big kiss, but just loud and quick. He is relieved that she does like him. Ida and Ed, he said, hey, something is missing here. Something is missing with us. And he proposes. She says she is shocked and surprised. She was not expecting it. But she does accept. He gave her a gift in her chest. And it's his underwear. I said, listen to me, Ed. Ed, I expect that from the dude that's living in a gym. But not from you. So Ada said, hey, everyone does a rose. And she don't like conventional gifts. But, he did something different and she likes it. Now, at the reveal, she says, this is the right time for her. He's excited and ready now. When the doors open, his smile fades and she stops smiling. And that was the end of episode 3. And we go straight to episode 4. Okay? But he does say wow and kisses her deeply. He said the kiss is nice because he doesn't like a stiff tongue. And I said, dude, quiet. He says she has skills. Aida said that the kiss is just right. He says she's so pretty. She likes what she sees. And she even likes his earrings. And he tells her, hey, everything works. He thought she would look a little more exotic. And I was like, do you like that or don't you like that? I'm not sure. But he says he's thrilled with her. She does propose, and he says yes, and he proposes to her. And, she says yes to him. And I was like, okay, y'all are kind of cute doing he proposed the first, then she does it, in the reveal. But he says she's delicious. And she likes that he's naughty. And he's already responding to her. He said he needs to put his hands in his pockets so he can stand up. And he said, hey, I'm going to be all ready for the bedroom. Don't worry. And while he's sitting back there, he's like, I am turned on right now. And I said, Ed, I need you to stop thinking with little Ed. Okay? Big Ed needs to take over right now. Maria Luisa tells us, hey, they're going on honeymoon. How am I going to keep up with them? How am I going to talk to them and know what's going on? So that, I guess, is the end of Maria Luisa for us. So we have our 5 couples: Nivea and Ricardo, Leah and Lika, Revo and Sylvia, Mario Roberto and Lucelma, Aida and Ed. So we see them all, getting there. I'm going to give you the highlights. Nivea, says, let's always talk and be, communicative with each other. Leo says they're excited about the first night. It's unsettling because he doesn't know what's going to happen. She says she's a usual anxious person and notice he's anxious. But she tells him, I wrote you a letter, but I'm going to tell you when the time is right for me to give you that letter. That sounds controlling. Because all Leo's thinking about now is what is in this letter? What are you trying to tell me? And then he's like, is it a breakup letter? She's like, no, it's not a breakup letter yet. Now, is this a way of her to control him? Is this her way to control him and control the situation? Because his mind is not thinking about anything else but that letter. But they start cuddling and canoodling and kissing on that couch outside their accommodation. Mario Roberto says he wants to enjoy it all, but he's cautious about the I love yous, and she keeps saying it. He does like the whole package that she is, and she says, Lou says, don't lie to me. You cannot lie to me ever in life. It sounded like a threat. Sylvia feels tenderness from Revo. He said he didn't think he could feel these emotions anymore. And he says he's starting to use reason and pull away from emotion. He wants to get to know her and see if there's real chemistry there. You don't like that woman, Revo. You don't like Sylvia. You don't like it. Just say it and go home. She said maybe it's time to take it slow. She asked the universe for someone and they sent him to her. He said, that's a lot of weight and responsibility on me. I don't want that. Y'all remember, Revo didn't even want the responsibility of telling the other dude, that Sylvia had made a decision. He don't want no responsibility, but he's trying to be a husband. Are you trying to be a husband, sir? Because a husband has a whole lot of responsibility. He says, if we don't stay together, he knows he's gained a real friend. What foolishness is this? You already telling her you leaving. Just leave. So all the couples are unpacking, and Sylvia says she needs all the hangers, none for him. And when he tried to say, well, wait a minute, can I get a hanger or two? She pulls out the nunchucks. He's like, now she's armed. And while she's being playful, I don't like it. So all the couples are, as I said, unpacking. For Nivea and Ricardo, his bag just pops open. When he do the zip, it pops open like a can of biscuits. I was like, oh! I hope his unmentionables are not popping out of the bag. That would be, oh my gosh, so embarrassing. But he says she's next level organized. I wonder if she has the packing cubes like I do. Some ladies are showing their lingerie to the men to get them all revved up and excited. And I'm like, okay, ladies. So we go straight to the couple's mixer. I love a good mixer because that's where all the stuff comes out. And remember, Lika and Revo were dating. And now Revo is pulling back from Sylvia. So let's see. So Lika is worried because, Leo will see the other woman. Leo is worried about the letter and not about her meeting Revo. Okay? So that letter is a distraction. Revo asks, can he look at other women? Before they even get to the party, he's asking Sylvia, can he look at other women? She's like, yeah, you can look, but if you stare, that's rude and disrespectful. What does he mean by look? And I'm like, yes, Sylvia, get him. She doesn't want to feel humiliated. And if he does not look for her and look after her, she will feel embarrassed. Don't have her feel embarrassed and left alone. He says he will not flirt, but allow him to just be. He's a really friendly guy. And I'm like, okay. He said he will not dare disrespect her, but he will joke with everyone. She's like, just be mindful. Just be very mindful. Lou thinks Ed is a player. Lou thinks Ed with Ida is a player and thinks he can have all the women he wants, but is not who she pictured for Ida. Lou says Rivio does not look 67. Rivio says he is most anxious to meet Lika. Then they walk in, Leo and Lika, and Rivio says he feels awkward. He feels awkward for him and Lika. It felt like that. And he felt like there was something between them. And I'm like, foolishness, because she reached out for Leo's hand right away. She reached out after you introduced, she reached for Leo's hand, who was standing just a little off to the side. Leo is not concerned. He's concerned about that letter. Divya and Ricardo walk in. Lika tells us that Rivio is playful, Leo is not playful. But she wanted someone that was happy and playful, and Leo is kind of quiet. And she did say in the pause that anyone who's kind of quiet and not friendly and open is not for her. Sylvia does see Revo checking Lika out. Revo, you in trouble with your woman. She says in her confessional, Sylvia does, that if she comes close to Revo, she will let her know who's boss, and starts waving the nunchucks. And I'm like, lady, I need you to get it together. Revo ain't even wanting to stay with you, so you better use the nunchucks on him, or even yourself even picking him. So the host and hostess arrive. Nivea and Ricardo said they're always ready, because they asked about, are y'all ready for the first night? They're like, yeah, we always ready. Leo and Lika say it's very promising. Lika says that Smex is important, and it has to be intense for her. Revo and Sylvia, he says he likes her light manner. Mario Roberto says, the fireworks have sparked and it is there. So the hosts tell them, hey, after this is reality, so enjoy. They didn't show us what Ada and Ed said, okay? We didn't see them talk about things. So Revo is not happy as he would like to be. And I'm going to have that as a short for you in the coming days. Nivea shares that they had a sisterhood in the pods, and Sylvia in the confessional says, what's a sisterhood? Because y'all threw me under the bus. Y'all were throwing stones at me the whole time. Lika says she's trying to be nice and not cause trouble. Sylvia's like, that's a nice speech in theory, but that's not what happened, so don't lie to me. That's what she's telling us in the confessional. Lika says she was only nice to Sylvia, because she don't want no problems. And Sylvia said Lika is only nice to her because she's with Leo. Now Lou says Leo did not make the right choice because Lika is a piece of work. She's very untruthful. And I'm like, Leo, I'm not sure I'm going to entertain this from you because you are Sylvia's friend in this whole pod experience. Revo went and hugged Leo and said, he was like his younger brother and he loves him, but you want his woman. Okay, Revo. They all go back to their rooms, and we're told that Lika looks down on the other girls and nothing is good enough for her. Revo says, about some shenanigans about, Lika. And I'm like, dude, you really want Lika. Sylvia talks about how Lika picked a fight with her in the pods. And he says, hey, I'm going to be friends with Leo, and I would like you to drop your defenses as far as Lika. And Sylvia's like, no. Ida said she felt Revo was fake. Ed says, he's all heart though. Lou says, she promises to do something every day to make this work. And it sounded scary, y'all, when she was telling her Mario Roberto that every day she will do everything every day to make it work. Girl, that will be exhausting quick. So we see the lights out. Ida hopes it'll be smooth and fun and light. Leo and Lika, they have expectations. Lou hopes, that, he can handle it. Revo says it's a strange night, okay? It has to be more than physical. Then he rolls over and goes to sleep. And Sylvia can't believe he did that. The next day, we see Nivea and Ricardo. They say it felt natural and, to cuddle all night, and they're building intimacy. Okay. He said cuddle, but it didn't seem like it's cuddle. He's like, we didn't go get much sleep. I was like, how much cuddling was it? Lou and Mario Roberto, he likes serving coffee. They had a wonderful night, and Lou's like, hey, they burnt up a whole lot of Carolees last night. I was like, She said he is sweet and romantic. Now, Mario Roberto, I hope you're not serving because of your financial constraints. I hope you don't put yourself in the category of butler. Aida and Ed, he did go for a workout. She says she's glad he's not clingy. He has his own hobbies. He goes to the gym. That's fine. And Ed tells us that last night was awesome. Last night was awesome. And he certainly was struggling in the gym because he put in the work last night. Ida tells us the bed shook and the bed was so loud. Not her. The bed was loud. And they stayed up. Ed told us, till the sun came up. Revo and Sylvia, she says she was expecting kissing and cuddling at least last night. But she goes and brushes his hair. And since his hair is falling out, he's like, not this hair. She says, oh no, it's cat's hair. He's like, wait a minute, do you share your brush with your cat? She says, it smells good, don't worry about it. And she takes the hair out of the brush and tucks it into her bra. He says, God have mercy, I can't handle this. To all you cat lovers out there, I need to know if this is normal. Because I have friends who are cat lovers and I cannot say this is normal. They do not share the same brush that they have with their cat. Sylvia, I am concerned. Okay? I am concerned. There's one thing to have your animals, there's another thing to be having your animals' hair on your brush. I am concerned, y'all, so please correct me if there are animal lovers out there that do share their brush for their hair on their head and brush their cats too. I need to know. Dogs, cats, ferrets, whatever it is, do you share your brush with your pet? Leo and Lika. Leo said it felt natural and they gave their all to each other. And, she says it was not hot. There was no fireworks. Not how she likes it. There was no real chemistry. And she said if it is lukewarm, then she won't be satisfied. I said, girl, you cut to the quick. So Mr. Pearly Whites, Mr. Handsome Dentist, ain't all that? Or is he more the sensual, slow type? Okay, Lika. But she's cuddling up with him and letting him think that he's the man. See, this is how men grow up to his age thinking that they got talent. Because nobody tells them, you ain't got talent. Sylvia asked Revo about the couples, and he says, she says Leo really likes Lika. She know what she's doing. She's kind of putting it in because she knows Revo really likes Lika. Ed and Ida go into sauna. She shares about how the sauna has great memories for her of conversations with her mom and sister and the time they spent together. Ed tells her he has other memories in saunas. Okay. Nivea and Ricardo go to an essential oil making. I said, finally a date I could get behind. He is fascinated, of course, with all cosmetics and scents and new experiences because remember, he's into luxury cosmetics and the beauty industry. Leo and Lika, it is raining, so they went to a room. Lika noticed there are 4 wine glasses there, so knew others were coming. And guess who production sent? Sylvia and Revo. Production, you are messy, and I like it. You are messy. Revo said he was not planning to meet up with them. Sylvia says, hey, let's put on a happy face. So they're in a dance class. Leo said he's not really a dancer. Revo said he has 2 left feet. Leo is stiff, and he kept stepping on her feet, Lika said. Now the instructor even put further mess in it and said, let's switch partners. Sylvia tells Leo, you need to grind more on me. Come on, grind more. And Lika is getting jealous and possessive. Revo said, he remembers that Lika was his number 1 and he is considering inviting her to dinner because he enjoying dancing with her so much. Lika says she enjoyed the dance too. Sylvia is encouraging them. Y'all get closer. Y'all need to get closer. And, and she said in her confessional that Revo and Lika are a better match. So here is Sylvia trying to put all kinds of salt in stuff and trying to get rid of her fiance and palm him off on Lika. I wonder if she wants Leo. Leo ain't gonna go for her though. But Sylvia danced with Lika. She said, let me dance with Lika and feel her energy. And Lika led the dance and she's like, oh, I felt her energy. Yes, she and Revo gonna be a better couple. So they put Revo and Lika in an area to talk. I said, wait a minute. Revo's asking, are you okay? She's like, yeah, she's fine. He's like, you don't seem relaxed or in the glow of someone who is enjoying themselves. He said he's fine. He's just letting things happen. But he told Sylvia that he does not feel the same as he did in the pods. And she has to work to win him over. Lika is taken aback because they seemed happy last night at the mixer. Revo says he don't know where this is going. And Lika said the same, that Leo's a great guy, but she's not sure. He's not expressive or affectionate. She wishes he was more intense. Now, production, I'm loving Brazilian production. Production shows us clips of Leo constantly being affectionate with her, kissing her, even kissing her hair while she's standing up, brushing it. Leo is constantly kissing, touching, and being affectionate with her. But I think the problem is he is the gentle, sensitive type of touching, and she wants something more intense. She says she wants the passion from the movies. I said, girl, that was scripted for a show. That is not real. That was scripted. So Revo decided he ain't gonna make no comment. He said he is tense because of how he feels for her and that she must be feeling the same. So now what? Revo said, you have no idea, but I do. There is a viable situation between us. Too bad you're with my friend. And that is how we end the episode for this week. I hope you will continue joining me for the future episodes. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel.